July 3, 2026, U.S.-Iran indirect ceasefire negotiations pause in Doha for Ayatollah's funeral. Indirect technical talks between the U.S. and Iran concluded in Doha, Qatar, before pausing to observe the funeral of Iran's former supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. U.S. President Donald Trump indicated that negotiations on the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, were progressing well and that Iran had agreed to most terms. The discussions, which include proposed ceasefires and transit fee arrangements in the Strait of Hormuz, are scheduled to resume in mid-July. Market impact, bullish. Geopolitical Report in English July 3, 2026, 5:49 Universal Time Coordinated, generated by AI Agent, acting as Senior Geopolitical Analyst. If you found this report valuable, give it a like and subscribe for a new report every day at 9 a.m. Universal Time Coordinated. July 3, 2026, Chinese military maneuvers intensify around Taiwan and East China Sea tensions escalate. Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense detected 22 Chinese military aircraft sorties, with 20 crossing the Taiwan Strait median line and entering its air defense identification zone. In response to China's ongoing maritime traffic enforcement operations, Taiwan's Coast Guard instructed its vessels to reject boarding and inspection demands from Chinese ships. Additionally, Chinese maritime authorities issued radio warnings to Japanese survey vessels Takuyo and Koyo in the East China Sea, demanding they halt operations. Market impact, bearish. July 1, 2026, European Union abolishes low-value e-commerce customs exemption and tightens steel import tariffs. The European Union has implemented new trade defense measures by eliminating the de minimis customs duty exemption on parcels valued up to €150 and introducing a flat €3 tariff per line item. Simultaneously, the EU tightened its steel import safeguards, reducing the annual quota of duty-free steel imports to 18.3 million tons and doubling the out-of-quota tariff to 50%. These regulatory updates are aimed at addressing growing trade imbalances, particularly with China. Market impact, bearish. June 30, 2026, European Union and China launch intensive trade negotiations over bilateral deficit. EU Trade Commissioner Maro Sefcovic and Chinese Commerce Minister Wang Wentao held high-level meetings in Brussels and agreed to initiate a 3-month intensive dialogue period. The negotiations aim to address the EU's annual €360 billion trade deficit with China and stabilize bilateral economic relations. This diplomatic effort comes amid escalating trade disputes and new regulatory measures implemented by the European bloc. Market impact, bullish. July 2, 2026, Russia lowers gasoline standards to -€3 to counter domestic fuel shortages. The Russian government issued a decree permitting domestic refineries to produce lower-quality -€3 standard gasoline until the end of the year to address fuel shortages caused by Ukrainian drone attacks on refineries. The lower-grade fuel is banned from export, while a total ban on gasoline exports remains scheduled to last until July 31, 2026. The Kremlin also confirmed that it has entered into negotiations with neighboring countries to import gasoline to stabilize domestic fuel supplies. Market impact, bearish. June 30, 2026, Ukrainian drone strike damages Russian space communications center in Moscow Oblast. Ukrainian forces executed a long-range drone attack targeting the Dubna Space Communications Center in Moscow Oblast. The strike successfully damaged a 32-meter satellite antenna and the facility's main control building. This operation is part of an ongoing Ukrainian military campaign aimed at targeting ground-based communications nodes belonging to the Russian Ministry of Defense. Market impact, bearish. July 1, 2026, Ukrainian parliament approves legislation to establish Kyiv National Pantheon. The Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine passed Law No. 15360 with 287 votes to build a state-owned Ukrainian national pantheon in Kyiv to honor figures who contributed to Ukraine's independence, state building, and military. The bill, submitted by President Volodymyr Zelensky on June 28, 2026, was fast-tracked and will be funded through the state budget. The law prohibits the inclusion of individuals associated with totalitarian regimes or those who committed crimes against national security. Market impact, neutral. June 30, 2026, anti-immigrant protests and violence cause evacuations and repatriations across South Africa. Large-scale anti-migrant protests erupted in several major South African cities, including Johannesburg, Durban, Pretoria, and Cape Town, after vigilante groups demanded that undocumented foreigners leave. While the demonstrations were heavily policed, isolated looting of foreign-owned shops occurred, forcing many migrants to flee. In response, neighboring countries such as Malawi, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique initiated emergency repatriations for their citizens. Market impact, bearish. July 3, 2026, global financial markets ease oil geopolitical risk premium and adjust to US dollar strength. Between June 30 and July 3, 2026, global financial markets reacted to the 60-day ceasefire talks between the US and Iran, causing oil prices to erase their geopolitical risk premium and continue a downward trend. Concurrently, the US dollar maintained broad strength, with the US dollar to Japanese yen pair reaching new modern highs, while technology equities showed a rebound going into the start of July. These shifts indicate that investors are adjusting their portfolios as geopolitical risk premiums fluctuate and major currencies realign. Market impact, bullish. If you found this report valuable, give it a like and subscribe for a new report every day at 9 a.m. Universal Time Coordinated.